Well, happy Monday. It's April 15th, also known as Tax Day. I hope you've already filed, but want to start with some of the latest news here in the Austin metro area. We're going to start with mortgage rates. Pop quiz. What does China, Taiwan, Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Hamas, Iran, what do all these things have to do with mortgage rates in Austin, Texas? Well, it all boils down to risk and uncertainty. And right now we have a lot of global conflict that continues to get more complicated and continues to kind of simmer and build up uncertainty. What that does is it creates a need for higher yield with investors to make up for that uncertainty, to make up for that risk. That is raising the temperature of the bond market. So over the last several weeks, the bond market has really seen the 10-year Treasury go up. We started the year below 4%. We're now about 4.6%. When the bonds go up, the mortgage-backed securities go up. When the mortgage-backed securities go up, the interest rate on your mortgage goes up. So right now, even though you're watching the news and you can't really connect the dots, that's part of it. So the Fed hasn't really done much for over 6 months, and yet mortgage rates have stayed very volatile. That is one of many reasons, is that global uncertainty. So keep an eye on the news. If we can get some good news or have some of these conflicts simmer down or hopefully find some peace, which would be the end goal, that will ultimately help take some of that pressure out of the investment market. But we're sitting right now about 7.3%. That's near the highest mark we've had for the year. And we're seeing some of the other products now jumping, the jumbos, some of the ARMs now over 7%, even the cheaper or less high interest investments like a 15-year, they're creeping up towards 7 too. So if we come down to the chart here, all the way down here, so the bottom line is 6.75%. This is all the way back at January 1st. We started below 7% for the year. We hit 7, but we kind of stayed up and down right in that channel until this last week. Now we are over 7.25%. And the bonds are going up as of this morning. So I wouldn't be surprised that by the end of the day, we're a little higher than where we are right now, 7.3%. So keep an eye on that. That alone, just the mortgage rates going up, I think is going to take some demand from buyers out of the market, at least for the next few weeks. So unless these start to come back down, we are significantly over 7% now. And I can tell you, based on last year, as we stayed over 7% for a significant amount of time, buyers just back out. It's too expensive. They don't want to do it. They're going to wait for the rate to come back down. And so what's going to happen is right when we're hitting the meat of the market, this kind of April, May, June window, if we take some buyers out of the market right when all these sellers are listing their homes, we're going to oversupply. It's just a prediction. We're going to have to see what happens. If the rates can come back down quickly, that will change the story. But for now, if they stay at or above 7%, my prediction is we're going to see buyer demand start to trickle off, and it's going to allow that housing supply to build up, and it's going to keep a curb on price. All right, we're going to look at March. This data just came out this week. This is from the Austin Board of Realtors. This is looking at March. But this is our latest snapshot of how sales went over the last month. So median sales price year over year for the total metro area, 5-county metro area, is about even. We're sitting pretty even there. Closed sales, again, I would say is pretty even. But here's what we are seeing. We're seeing months of inventory go up. Again, sellers listing properties more than last year, months of inventory going up. New listings are up. Active listings are up. And sales, which is buyer activity, is also up. So we're seeing all of it happen. We are getting more activity than we've had the last probably 18 months. If you count the second half of 2022 and all of 2023, we've got more activity than at any one of those points. But what we're trying to monitor is there more buyer demand than sellers, or are there more sellers than buyer demand? And I think we're still seeing more supply than buyer demand. And so I do think that's what's keeping the price kind of equal with last year. Average close to list price, this is kind of a positive sign. So last year, the average property from the beginning to where it finally closed, original list price to eventual close, it was like 10% off. I mean, there was huge discounting going on. It was difficult to sell a property. Now we're seeing that tighten up. Now it's cut that in half. So now from the start to the finish, maybe a seller's discounting up to 5% to get their home sold with their original list price to eventual closed sale price, but we are seeing that tighten up. That's for the total metro area. Now we're going to look at each county. So this is just the city of Austin, which is in Travis County, but median price up a little bit. Closed sales also up a little bit, and everything, listings, actives, pendings, they're all up, but so's months of inventory. So even though there's more activity from buyers, there's also more supply, and that's pushing months of inventory up, but we're seeing that average close to list price tighten up a little bit. This is Travis County, so kind of the wider county. Median sales price is pretty even, closed sales just up a little bit. But again, everything going up. And average close to list price pretty tight with last year. This is Williamson County to the north. Numbers are a little different. So we're seeing the median sales price just drop a little bit. Closed sales are down, though. I think Williamson County, more than any county, has so much new construction. I think last year, new construction just won by a landslide, and there was a lot of inventory that they had to get sold. I'm guessing that new construction is tightening up a little bit, meaning they're not overbuilding anymore. They're kind of doing it as needed. So I think that's dropping closed sales. That's also dropping the active listings. But look, pending sales are up almost 12%. New listings are up over 11%. So we're seeing that activity, and months of inventory in Williamson County is coming down, or at least staying flat. But the average close to list price way up. And again, this huge low number, 81% of original list price, I think a lot of that was new construction myself. So, but they're tightening that up in Williamson County as well. Here's Hays County to the south, Buda, Kyle, Dripping Springs, San Marcos. Median sales price, pretty even with last year. Closed sales up. And again, new listings, active listings, pending listings, all up. And we're seeing the close to list price tighten. Bastrop to the east, again, median and closed sales up. Everything's up across the board. And Caldwell County to the southeast, this is mainly Lockhart. Again, median sales price, look at closed sales, way up, although much smaller number. But we're seeing new listings, active listings, pending sales. I mean, they came off the, look at that, 71%. I mean, what's happened is they just had so little activity last year. When prices were coming down, you don't need to move to Lockhart. You could live closer to the city. Now that the prices are kind of stabilizing and going back up, you're seeing more people take that move to Lockhart, where it is super affordable to live there. So anyways, that is a look at the activities there. This is right now active versus sold listings in the market. So this is looking at the last 12 months. Right now in April, you can see from January to now, we're seeing those listings build up. As we talked about, that's normal. The blue line is closed sales. We're seeing closed sales build up. So I'd say right now we are absolutely having a normal year. We're seeing the bell curve of activity. We're seeing sellers. We're seeing buyers. I'm really curious with these rates going up. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to see the listings go up, but the sales maybe flatten a little bit or not as aggressive. So I want to watch that. I want to see how buyers are going to react to that. Finally, want to share with you, Austin was just ranked the #1 job market in Texas and scored pretty high nationally. If I scroll down here, we were tied with Nashville, #7 nationally, beat out Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio, although they were all in the top 25. If I look at the total list, Salt Lake City was #1. You've got Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa in Florida. Oklahoma City came in #5, Miami #6, and then, of course, Austin #7. If you're curious who the big tech employers are in town, #1 is Tesla now, beating out Dell. They have 22,700 employees, which is pretty amazing, seeing as if they weren't even here other than some small departments 4 years ago. And now they have the Gigafactory, and they've ballooned up to almost 23,000 employees. You got Dell Technologies, Amazon. I saw a story this morning on CNBC about the Samsung fab out in Taylor and how they're using the funding from the CHIPS Act to really explode the size. I mean, the facility is insane. You should see this story. I mean, it looks like they're building a city out there. But basically, they're going to balloon up to about 25,000 employees in the metro area, at least, maybe even just with that fab. We'll see. But tech is coming. So if you're curious, what's still driving the Austin market? We have lots of employment opportunities, lots of companies coming here. And we're seeing Austin becoming more of a manufacturing city, at least in terms of electric cars and chips. And so I think that's interesting. If you are a seller right now, I still believe this is one of the best times of the year to sell your property. You're going to have more competition in terms of supply, than we've had in the past few years. But I still think, at least in the numbers right now, buyer demand is up compared to what we've had in 2020, late 2022 and 2023. So I still am cautiously optimistic it's going to be a decent time to sell your house. If you're a buyer right now, you got to be talking with the lender. We've got to see what opportunities you have. Make sure you can afford that property because rates are still pretty volatile. And if you need assistance, then that's where we can put together some contract strategies, see if we can get some closing cost credits from a seller, help you buy down that interest rate, or we need to adjust your purchase price and work our way down the price ladder to get something that fits into your budget. Anyways, hope this was helpful. Make sure to watch our videos each and every Monday. You can find them on our YouTube channel at Ryan Kelly Group. Click that subscribe button. That'll make sure that you can follow these each and every week if I am not emailing them to you directly. Until then, hey, hook 'em horn, Scotty Scheffler, number 2 Masters green jacket. I love it. Love another Longhorn winning the Masters. Anyways, get your taxes filed if you haven't done that. My gosh, you're running out of time. But until then, would love to talk with anybody you know looking to buy, sell, or invest in Austin. Enjoy your week. We'll talk to you next Monday. Thanks.